Are we good? Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting to order. January 5th, 2023 Sparc meeting in order. We do not have a quorum, so we're not going to be able to take action on any items this evening. However, we're still going to have the meeting, and we're going to have any speaker slips, and we're going to have park updates. But so tonight we won't be voting on anything. So with that, we're not going to approve the agenda, and we're not going to approve the minutes. We are going to get a pickleball update from Nick.
Can I take attendance quickly?
I'm
It's okay.
sorry. I
All
forgot.
right. No worries.
Officially, we don't have a quorum, but we're going to have
but
official
I'll tell you who's
in a
here.
second. Yes.
How's that? Dan Bickford's here. Michelle Dressler. Yes, here. Ken Fox is here. And Stephanie Price is here. And Dean Velasco. So we do not have quorum, so we will not vote, but we will have an informational meeting. Cindy, we were wondering. Cindy's here. We have a quorum.
Cindy's here. We still don't have a quorum, but
We
Cindy,
do?
thank you for...
we do. No, we do. Now we do. We have a quorum.
Oh, look at that.
Count yourself.
Yeah.
I forgot to count myself.
Yes.
Cindy,
Hi,
so
Cindy.
nice of you to join us. You don't have to have an excuse. It's nasty outside. Thank you for being here. We do have a quorum. Did you have the correct roll call now?
Yep. Woo, sorry. So Cindy Carlton. Here. And absent would be Dr. Ellen Tuthill, Kathleen Pishney, Linda Maricol, and Anita Batista.
Okay. Okay, so that is roll. Let's go to approval of agenda. Has everybody had a chance to check out the agenda? I know we sent it out in email.
Move to approve.
We have a first,
Second.
and we have a second from Cindy. Okay. Oh, wait. Can you call a roll? There.
Yep, we're out of practice. Dan Bickford,
Aye.
Cindy Carlton,
Aye.
Michelle Dressler, Ken Fox, Stephanie Price,
Aye.
Dean Velasco.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Excellent. Approval of a minutes. Did everybody have a chance to look over the minutes from November 3rd?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. And we have a second. Please call for roll.
Dan Bickford,
Aye.
Cindy Carlton,
Aye.
Michelle Dressler, Ken Fox, Stephanie Price,
Aye.
Dean Velasco.
Aye.
Approved.
Okay, that motion is approved to approve the minutes. Now, we'll get to number 4. Nick, can you give us a report on the pickleball?
Yes, sir. First of all, Happy New Year's to everyone. I hope everyone had a very prosperous and enjoyable 2022, and I look forward to working with all of you for 2023. With that said, I'd also be remiss if I did not acknowledge our esteemed pickleball community here that's here as well. Dave and Teresa and company, go pickleball. Thank you for being here. We appreciate all your support. And that steers me in to talk about some few updates that the pickleball stakeholder community has on the pike. With that said, I just wanted to update this body via donations from the pickleball stakeholders. The pickleball-led community turned in roughly $9,000 this past October. Those funds are currently being utilized to corner off the existing 4 corners at the courts. Concrete has been poured, and the fencing should be complete next week, weather permitting. Sorry, Eric, I'm stealing your thunder for a second. I know you were going to say that. To date, pickleball community has hosted 2 tournaments as means to continue to raise more funds in our community. They hosted a mixed doubles tournament on October 29th and a women's doubles event on December 10th. They are hosting another tournament on January 14th, which will be a men's doubles. Roughly 90 players have signed up. Dan, is there any more space for me? Oh, okay, got it. It is expected that these 3 tournaments will raise approximately $12,000 for more pickleball improvements in our community. With that said, yes, a little round of applause perhaps. There you go. Well said. Good deal. Thank you, guys. The pickleball community's next major goal is to resurface and paint the courts at Big Rock. So with that said, I just wanted to provide this miscellaneous update to this body and let everyone know all the amazing things this pickleball community is doing. And they are being led by the fearless leader, Dave Paulson. And I'd be remiss if I also didn't mention that there was a phenomenal article posted from Patch that also highlighted all their work. And from that, I'm just going to hand it back over to Dean to see if he has any comments.
I have a question about the big, so I know that it's typically first come, first serve, but is there a way to reserve a couple courts ahead of time if you wanted to have like you and 12 friends or something play on a weekend?
That would be a question for Anne. Anne, is there a way to reserve courts?
So they have, there's instructions on the courts that say how you can paddle in. So of course you can't reserve in advance, but you could play with your own friends. So as people rotate off the courts, then the next group rotates in, but they don't have to challenge. You can just play with your own buddies.
What if these friends of mine are like really socially awkward engineers who are worried about like interacting with strangers?
So
I'm just asking.
They don't have to. So they don't have to challenge.
Okay.
So all the paddle placement is just for if you only want to, you don't have to interact with anybody. It just means that you're next in line to rotate onto that court. So you don't have to challenge.
So like at a bar, if you don't want to shoot and try to win the table from somebody, you could put your quarters up there and say,
I mean, I don't know. I don't do that. So.
So there's
I'm just saying there's ways to pull off, but I don't
So
think.
there's signage on the courts, and then if you go onto santyrec.com and look up Big Rock Park, there's actually a pickleball page, and it tells you exactly how the rules and or rotationary rules.
Okay,
And then they are busier in the mornings. I do know that, so possibly afternoons might be better. And then there are some asphalt courts at Santana High School, but they're not official pickleball height nets. But those are, if you're just kind of new to it and you just want to hit the ball around, that might be an option as well.
You'd be better over there.
One game of pickleball and you won't be a stranger.
Okay.
That's right.
Right?
Well, like, what if these friends are also defer a lot to other generations?
Yes. Younger.
Yeah.
And want to get out there and play. Listen,
fine.
I know the community. I've been out there multiple times, and I've seen kids from 12 years old, and I've seen older people, Ken's age, out there, and they're no, I'm just it's a pretty welcoming community, but I think your best bet would go there when it's not busy. I would not suggest a weekend morning because there's hundreds of people there every weekend. But I definitely encourage you to get out there. I would say just drive by a couple times on some nights where you think that your crew would go out there and see how many folks are out there, because I'm sure it's not busy morning to night every single day.
Well, I live there, so.
Oh, you do? There you go. Okay. Any other questions on pickleballs? Okay. Let's go to number 5, staff.
There's
There's a public comment on pickleball. Sorry, Ann.
challenged on the microphone today.
I am out of
I have
practice.
a
Do you have
public
any
speaker,
comments on
Dave
this?
Paulson.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Good evening, Sparc members, and Happy New Year to everybody as well. And just to add a comment on that, usually the afternoons are a great time between like 1 and dark to show up and just get your own group and kind of stay together, which seems to work out pretty well for that. So,
Got it. Twilight rate.
yeah, it's pretty. I wouldn't say it's quiet. Yesterday afternoon we were full. We had different groups playing. We were there at 1 o'clock, but it was that 2 hours of sunshine in the last week when we could all play. So that's when we were out there. So just a brief comment. First, we wanted to thank the city manager for meeting with us in April of last year. In April of last year, the city manager met with us, and we established a clear vision for what the pickleball courts at Big Rock Park were going to be. A couple months later, we had a budget from the city and drawings that said what it looked like. It went before the city council in June, and the council supported our program to be self-funded. As Nick said, we're at about $20,000 raised and things like that. We have a huge group of donors and people that have given money and their time to help us. We have other opportunities, and we look forward to working with I also want to thank Nick and Ann and Sam and others at the city staff that have helped us, both with the court improvements and also helping support our fundraising program, because we have these events and other things going on that really, they move pretty fast, but it all works pretty well in working together. So, and our next step is to continue to work closely with the city staff on new opportunities to enhance our fundraising potential. So we look forward to working with Nick and everybody else at the city in the coming months. So thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Any other comments?
No other public comment.
Okay. Number 5, staff report. We're going to start with Nick.
Thank you, sir. I just want to give a few updates regarding operations. Want to inform the body, we get roughly about $15,000 annually from the state to be used for activities to reduce beverage container trash. This grant is available via Cal Recycle, and we're going to earmark some of this money to replace some water bottle filler stations at our city parks. Some of these locations that we're considering right now is Shadow Hill Park, Town Center Community Park East and West, to also include the pickleball courts near at Big Rock Park. So yes, another win for Big Rock. Sounds good. With that said, I do want to provide some more updates regarding our community center. The final design was submitted. It's still at 50% plans and is being submitted by HMC Architects, and it's still being currently reviewed by city staff. Staff is working vigorously on this item, so we will be sure to provide some more updates on the community center come February or March. With that said, I also want to inform this body the annual CPRS conference is taking place in April, the first week of April this year. This is an event, well, it's more of a conference that we send our coordinators, our supervisors, our managers, and I as well attend. Typically, you see a city manager here and there. Sometimes you see elected officials. However, this is geared more towards staff. It's a place where you gain enrichment on parks and recreation. You meet other stakeholders in the community. And more importantly, it's a place to network. So we'll be sending a few of our coordinators, and I'll be going as well for a few days, and I believe Ann might be going as well. With that said, this body may have gotten some possible feedback from this community this past year regarding the lodgepole fencing at Walker Trails. I believe, I wasn't here for this, but I believe there was some fire damage that took place during Thanksgiving some time back. And I believe we may have gotten some feedback from some community members regarding the status of that lodgepole fencing. So it pleases me to say that staff is working on an RFP, and we should hopefully be getting this project approved sometime in the beginning quarter of this year. So look for some improvements at Walker Trails relatively soon in regards to lodgepole fencing. Also, some good news. Sorry, I don't mean to steal your thunder again, Eric, but we're getting, I think we got our new slide at Town Center Community Park East. So that's some good news for our youth. Moving along.
We got our new, I'm sorry, what was it again?
It was actually damaged. It was a damaged slide at Town Center Community Park
Slide,
East.
okay.
It was damaged for a while, but we had some manufacturing issues, so we finally got it replaced, I believe, in this past month, right, Eric? Not too long ago. Great. So with that said, staff is also working on amending a contract with West Coast Arborist. With that said, this contract amendment is going to maintenance and trims over 600 trees at Mass Park. So that's another big project we're focusing on. So just want to let this body know, and that concludes my report.
Yes, Sid.
As I recall, the fire was Thanksgiving of 21. Yes. Why is it taking so long for things to be repaired if we know? I mean, it's been a year.
Right. The funds weren't available at the time, but they were earmarked for this cycle, and this is a collaborative between the CSD department and engineering department. So rest assured the job will get done, and we'll make sure to let you know when the job gets done as well. But I understand your concern. It's well noted.
I also have a question on Mass Park tree trimming, Eric. We have trees out there that are older trees that pose a serious risk. Some of those branches fall off, and if you're around them, you're out of luck. You're going to be done under if they fall. I think it's great that we're going to be trimming those. I want to caution or comment on the trimming of the trees that aren't going to kill you, the ones with the small branches. I know a couple years ago, probably like 5 years ago, when we first put in the disc golf course there, One of the main things in disc golf is to have trees that you have to throw around, or small branches that you throw around. So, and I remember speaking to one of the people that were trimming the trees. They said, we have a contract, we have to trim all these trees. And they took all the trees down to like my haircut versus, Stephanie's haircut. And it really changed the whole dynamic of the entire park and the whole disc golf park there. So I want to make sure that that they're focusing more on the safety hazards and the giant trees that can fall and kill you. The old eucalyptus that are, up along that side of the apartments, rather than just trimming every leaf on every tree because they have a contract to do it, because that will kind of kill the play there. So, I mean, I don't know if there's any middle ground on your tree trimming folks and what they're doing, because I know the one time that they were out there and they're like, we need to do this because this is our last, time on the contract to do it. And they just cut everything down to like those palm trees where they leave 2 branches up in the top. And they did that to every tree in the park at Mass Park. So I just want to say that out loud. I want I just want to.
I can't speak to that. I've only been here a little under 5 years.
Okay.
I know in the 5 years that I've been here, we haven't touched all the trees in Mass Park.
Okay.
And just to put your mind at ease, West Coast arborists would never skin a tree.
Oh yeah, they're the smart one. They're the.
Canopy reduction is 30% or less only
Okay.
for a healthy tree. So they'll never top it out or remove more than what's necessary for the tree to be healthy.
Okay, great.
Structurally and biologically.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to kind of rephrase what you said. I think a lot of times arborists trim for walking height. And I think what you're saying is trees that don't need to be trimmed for walking height because they're like
On the course.
on the course should not be trimmed for walking height.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's
I think that's different.
the different way
what
that
you
I don't know a lot about tree trimming. I just know the one time they went out there, it wasn't the West Coast Arborist. It was a different company, and they really did do a number. And it took a long time to grow some oomph back to some of those trees. But again, there are trees out there that are scary, dangerous, and when we get wind or rain, they break huge branches and fall off, and because they're just older trees.
So for the record, we also, Nick could confirm this, we've spent about $16,000 this year doing tree trims. We did all the ironbark eucalyptus on the north, in the disc golf area there, along the north fence line. And then we also trimmed the entire Willow Pond bike path, all the mature cottonwoods, oaks, sycamores, which has been our target. We just never have had enough funding to touch every tree in the park.
Gotcha.
But we're moving towards a 4-year trim cycle in the entire city. And that's part of what this
Grant is.
part of what these monies, this amendment to the county for West Coast is going to be used for, just to get us up to speed to where we should be with our maintenance, so that from here on out we'll be on schedule.
Perfect.
Every tree in the city will be cut every 4 years, and the parks will be trimmed every 2 years as needed.
Awesome. Thank you. I just wanted to say hello. Excellent. Ann.
Speaking of staff doing stuff, we are actually going to be at full staff. We have our new recreation coordinator. I'll announce his name later, or their name later, when he starts in mid-January. Mid-January, I hope. So hopefully I'll bring them along to one of these meetings, and you'll get to meet the new recreation coordinator. Our winter recreation guide is currently out. There's one at each of your stations. You're welcome to take a look. Registration is currently open for all programs. Our teen center reopened today after the winter break, and the kids are back. Our seniors had their wonderful holiday luncheon, very well attended, back on December 16th. I'm going to show a video. So they had a good time there. I know some Sparc members attended. That was very nice for you to attend. And that event is subsidized by the funding that Sparc approves. So James and his crew and everybody who worked to decorate and undecorate and throughout the event did a wonderful job. So I want to say thanks to our staff. Coming up, special events. Actually, not coming up. We did light the holiday lighting event back on November 18th. We also, the special events team also assisted with the employee holiday luncheon on December 15th. January is New Year, right? So we have a Santee Discovery Month. There are flyers at the front check-in area if you'd like to grab one, but I also have a video.
Santee Discovery Month. Join me in learning more about this brand new self-guided event. The challenge starts now and goes all month long. You pick where to start and how many challenges you want to participate in. There are 12 to choose from. Each challenge takes place at an iconic location in Santee. Here are a few examples. Participating is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Visit one of the iconic locations. The list can be found at santeespecialevents.com. 2. Snap a photo of you completing the challenge. 3. Email the photo to specialevents@cityofsanteeca.gov to be entered to win a prize. We challenge you to participate today.
So if you want more details, you can go to santeespecialevents.com or pick up a flyer. It's hoping that people out in the community go and explore some of the opportunities out in the parks and around town and see something new, or maybe check something out that they have never seen before. And also take a picture, enter for a prize. I wanted to let you also know that January 15th, we'll be holding the race walk again. The city doesn't host it any longer, but we do help to facilitate that. It is an Olympic qualifying race walk or a pre-qualifying. I don't know the title of it officially, but just wanted to let you know that morning that there will be some street closures on Town Center Parkway and Riverwalk Drive, which is basically behind Trolley Square. Save the date for Fido Fest on February 25th. And then next month, Becky will be back to do a full report for Twilight Brews and Bites. Any questions?
Yeah, when was that race walk again?
January 15th.
Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Eric, maintenance update.
Lots of stormwater patrol, maintenance, reporting, and flood
Can you-
control, cleaning.
I'm sorry, Eric, I love when you talk, but I don't think we're catching anything on Santee TV if you're not by the microphone.
Yeah, let's come up.
Step on up.
There we go. Lots of stormwater reporting and inspections, especially the last 2 weeks with the rain. Flood control channels are continually being cleaned, and then just a lot of park maintenance. A lot of graffiti. We've had some vandalism lately. And then doing turf restorations on our baseball fields. So that's where we're at. It's business as usual other than that.
Very cool, very cool. Do we still have and this goes to you, Ann, or still have a pretty decent relationship with our local sheriffs on the graffiti, correct? I mean, yeah, I know in the past we were able to, we take pictures of everything, and for you, Erica, if you know the answer, because they used to hit in chunks. They'd hit every park and write the same stuff, but they were reaching out to the schools and finding out the kids that did this, and we were having some justice involved in this. Is that still something that's ongoing when you receive graffiti?
Yeah, we use the graffiti reporting app that keeps all that info. They also peruse it for notable tags,
Content,
gang
yeah.
activity, that type of thing. And so that just builds up. So if we ever are able to prosecute anybody for that, we have the history.
Okay.
So we're anytime we find it, we collect the data, we document it, and then clean it, remove it.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you. Any other questions from up here? Okay, let's move on to 6. Committee reports, general announcements, handouts. Members, anybody want to talk about anything cool they did in the last couple of months? Dan's going to. Let's start with you, Dan.
I was going to give somebody else a chance to jump in there first, but so I'm very happy to announce a few new programs for the Santee Kiwanis. First of all, March 25th, we're going to be holding a Renaissance experience out on in front of the YMCA, and so this will be our first year for this Renaissance experience. We look to hold it and then build on that and continue this as a fun and exciting event for Santee. Second thing we have is in April we have the Junior Olympics. Junior Olympics is where we take the 4th through 8th graders, 4th through 8th grade Santee students, take them out and run them around for athletics and prizes. And so I don't have an exact date on that yet, but it'll be in April. And then May 20th, we've partnered with the Special Olympics Southern California. We're bringing the Special Olympic Southern California Games to Santee. We're going to be out at West Hills High School. West Hills is on board, raring to go. Grossmont High School District is already their risk management's already signed off. That's going to be our date. That's going to be our location, and we should probably have around 700 participants out there on the 20th of May. So come on out. You'll hear more about this as we get closer to that date. But Santee Kiwanis is really doing a lot this year. A lot of extra things. We already have a full schedule, but we added three more events this year. We'll talk about the third new event as it gets closer in August. Thank you.
Excellent. Anyone else have any updates?
Maybe not City of Santee specifically, but within Greater San Diego in general. So I joined, I don't know what to call it, a meetup group for millennial women who want to make more friends. And I'm trying to make golf be my thing, like me be the face of the golf crew or whatever. So I invited like 40 plus girls who are all interested to a driving range session. And I bring all this up because back in April, I did meet with the Carlton Oaks outreach lady, and we had coffee and talked about the project for a while. And she was talking about how they had to submit plans to both City of Santee and City of San Diego. And then I reached out in December, but she never responded back. And I was just asking for an update, but I don't know. I was trying to make that be my thing too. Just, hey, I'm on the Parks and Rec committee, so I don't know if you wanted to give a spiel at a meeting, I could help you set that up, but I don't know. She never responded back.
And this is for a meetup group to be at the driving range at Carlton Oaks Country Club?
I mean,
golf course?
eventually, sometime, in the future, yeah, if that becomes a more feasible thing, but I don't know.
You kind of have to have somewhere to hit the balls too, so.
Yeah.
You're not going to go to one of the parks and use it as a driving range.
I'm just saying that, that's why I said not specifically City of Santee. Within City of San Diego, that's my thing, but I was also in tandem trying to make this whole Parks and Rec plus Carlton Oaks thingy my thing too, but she hasn't responded back to me. So.
Okay, thank you. I want to talk about Mass Park. I just continue. I know Mass Park, one of our newest parks that we've kind of renovated and just redid, and Mass Park is a beautiful park. I go out there as much as I can, and just the maintenance and everything out there has just been spot on. The usage, there's so many folks out there. Even in the rain, there's people out there. the new concessions, the concessionaire that was approved by City Council and yourself. It's just a great addition there. So if you haven't been out to Mass Park, there's opportunity out there. Get yourself an ice cream or a Gatorade, and I mean the park's just great, and it's so nice to see it used. Also with the West End Park ribbon cutting, I wasn't able to attend it because I was doing the Veterans Memorial Golf Tournament or the Veterans Golf Tournament, but that was a great ribbon cutting as well, and people really dig that park. I think the next thing on the board would be maybe throw a little dog park up there, because I won't take my dogs up there on a walk anymore because everybody thinks the park is the dog park and the dogs just run free. But I think that'll be coming down the pike. But it's just such a great park up there at the Weston and Mass Park. And I just want to say you and your folks, Eric, are doing awesome on maintenance. And it's definitely a step up from the past. So good job. Yes, ma'am.
I just have to say that for some reason, I thought concession meant food, like real food, not like ice cream and Gatorade. But I have to say the concession has a really nice selection of discs.
They do.
Not food, but
So I can comment a little bit on the food because I was interested back in the day of taking to being the concessionaire there. Yeah. The location is not permitted with the San Diego County Health Department to have any kind of food.
okay.
So you can have a bag of chips and a soda or something, but that's about it because it was never built to be approved health department spec. And the first concessionaire, we were a little bit fortunate because they had a health department approved taco cart thing they brought on. And with that cart, they were able to sell food because that cart is licensed. That building itself is not licensed. It does not have drainage. It does not have running water. They can sell discs, dog treats, bottled water, and chips. And they're doing a great job at it.
Yeah, they are.
And if we would have spent another $300,000, it would have been a good food place at the time. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, and then I guess it all comes back to pickleball, but for the same meetup group, there's like 200 plus women ages 20 to 45 in that group. And so I manage the golf sub-channel, and my best friend manages the pickleball and tennis channel. And so she's still new to it, but she loves it more than my husband loves golf, I guess. So I was telling her like, hey, Santee isn't too far from where a lot of the girls live, and they have beginners clinics Sunday mornings. So if the group is cool with having like 15 to 20 beginner girls coming out, then that's my other announcement.
I'm sure they are, and tell them to hook up on Facebook. And I'm really stoked.
Oh, no, it's not Facebook. It's
No, but they have a Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
So then you can hook up with them and say, hey, we're going to bring a mob of people.
Okay.
I'm just really stoked to hear you saying 45 as a millennial. And because 20 to 45, that's, I thought I was Gen X, but I'll take, I'm a working millennial.
I mean,
Anyways.
it's mostly millennials.
Okay. There you caveat. Okay.
It's not about what you want to hear.
I heard 45, Dan. Okay. Next item, number 7, non-agenda public comment. Do we have any comments? No. Okay. Future agenda items, we have one on there. Since we have a staff member that's on vacation, the Twilight Brews and Bites report is going to be on our next meeting. We'll get a full report of that. And I do not believe we have any solidified future agenda items. Anybody have any discussion on future agenda items we could discuss? No? Okay. Awesome. Next meeting's February 2nd. With that, I appreciate everybody being here. Drive safe. It's a little bit rainy outside, and I'm going to adjourn our meeting. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh.